This is the story of Ruth, a testament of loyalty and love in the face of life's unforeseen struggles. It's a tale that transcends time and culture, rooted in devotion, selflessness, and unyielding faith. Stop scrolling for just a moment. You're going to want to hear this. Our story begins in the land of Moab, a region just east of the Dead Sea. A harsh famine had struck the land of Bethlehem, forcing a man named Elimelech to relocate there with his wife Naomi and their 2 sons. Elimelech and his family were Israelites, a people deeply anchored in their faith in Yahweh, the one true God. But the land of Moab was not like Bethlehem. Its people worshipped many gods, and their lifestyle was markedly different. Yet, in this foreign land, Elimelech and Naomi sought to build a new life. However, tragedy soon struck. Within the first few years of their arrival, Elimelech passed away, leaving Naomi a widow in a foreign land. Heartbroken but resilient, Naomi held on. Life moved forward, and her 2 sons eventually married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. For a decade, they lived what seemed to be peaceful lives. Yet, fate had more challenges in store. Both sons passed away, leaving Naomi, Orpah, and Ruth widowed and bereft of their loved ones. In ancient times, widowhood often meant destitution. Without husbands to provide, the future seemed bleak. For Naomi, who was in a foreign land, the weight of this loss was almost unbearable. So she made a fateful decision. She would return to Bethlehem, her homeland. But even as she prepared for her journey, she thought of Orpah and Ruth. These young women still had time to remarry and rebuild their lives in Moab. With tears in her eyes, Naomi implored them, "Go back to your families, my daughters. May the Lord deal kindly with you as you have dealt with me and the dead." Conflicted and heartbroken, Orpah kissed Naomi goodbye and turned back to her family. But Ruth, oh, Ruth, she made a choice that echoes through the ages. Ruth clung to Naomi and said words so powerful and beautiful they are remembered to this day. "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. May the Lord deal with me, be it ever so severely, if even death separates you and me." These words are a testament to loyalty, love, and faith, not just to Naomi, but to the God of Israel. And so, they journeyed together back to Bethlehem. But when they arrived, their reception was bittersweet. Naomi's friends hardly recognized her, and she openly expressed her despair. "Call me Mara," she said, which means bitter, "for the Almighty has made my life very bitter." Though Naomi's heart was heavy, Ruth set out to provide for both of them. She went to glean in the fields, a practice where the poor would collect leftover grain during the harvest. By what seemed like chance, but surely was God's providence, she found herself in the fields of Boaz, a wealthy landowner and close relative of Naomi's late husband. Boaz noticed Ruth's hard work and her dedication to Naomi. When he learned of her character and her decision to leave her homeland and follow Naomi, he showed her incredible kindness. He ensured she was protected while working in his fields and provided her with food and water. Ruth returned home with an abundance of grain. Naomi, seeing this blessing, began to form a plan. According to Israelite custom, a close relative could act as a kinsman redeemer, someone who could restore the family name by marrying a widow of the deceased. Boaz, being such a man, became the focus of Naomi's hope. Naomi instructed Ruth to approach Boaz during the night at the threshing floor, a cultural act symbolizing humility and a request for protection. Ruth followed Naomi's guidance and made her petition known. Boaz, touched by her faith and loyalty, agreed to redeem her. Yet there was one complication. A closer relative had the first right to redeem the land and marry Ruth. But Boaz acted swiftly. The very next day, he went before the town elders to address the matter. The other relative, realizing the obligation involved, chose to forfeit his right. With the way cleared, Boaz married Ruth, taking her into his home and heart. From their union came a child, Obed, who would become the grandfather of King David. Through this lineage, generations later, came the Messiah, Jesus Christ, the ultimate Redeemer. Ruth's story may seem simple on the surface, but it carries profound truths. It teaches us that loyalty and faith can lead to blessings beyond our imagination. It reminds us that God's plans are often bigger than we can see, using even the most challenging of circumstances to bring about His purposes. And so, the story of Ruth is not just a narrative of two widows seeking survival. It is a beacon of hope, reminding us that God works through our love, loyalty, and trust in Him. If Ruth, a foreigner from Moab, could enter into God's grand plan, so can we all, no matter who we are or where we come from. If you find this story as inspiring as I do, share it with someone who might need a reminder of God's faithfulness today. And remember, where you go, He will go with you. Trust Him. Bible, #Jesus, #God, #Jews, #Christian, #Christianity, #Faith.